So I wanted to go over 144,000, the chosen, like terms like that. So the 144, to me, this is just how it feels to me, okay? Those would be the closest to Christ, okay? So they would be the 12 tribes of Judah. So there's 12 in each tribe. So that's where the 144 comes from. Now, saying that, and people may agree, may disagree, but this is just my feeling about this, okay? So Lion of Judah, to me, represents Christ. I had messages a few years ago, too, that the Lion of Judah was pissed. And that's how I heard it. It was probably 4 years ago that he was done. So just, I know I've said that before, but sometimes the messages will come through that way, like Lion of Judah. That's come through again recently. That's why I'm bringing this up. That a lot of people think that, just a side note, that Jesus is like gentle and kind and sweet. Yes, he is, very. When he shows up, he's got the most gentle, kind energy, but he also doesn't, he's not playing. He has flipped a table or two in his time. So although he is very kind, very loving, the epitome of unconditional love and forgiveness, but he doesn't come alone. So he's coming with warring angels, as many as it takes. So that's why when you call on him and he shows up, everything scatters. So his tribe, to me, would be the 144, okay? So those are 12 in each tribe, 12 tribes. Now, to me, again, this is just my perception of this, but those would be the closest to Christ, like people of Christ directly. They resonate with him, they, have a relationship with him. Even if they can't see, feel, or hear him, they just have a direct, Now, a lot of people are very close to Christ. It's not that. And now, with 144,000, okay, I also feel like the 144, it's spiritual DNA you can activate in your body, okay? I do not recommend it unless you are very practiced. Yeah, because that's like cranking up your kundalini when you just started meditating, or cracking open your third eye, like, I want to see now. Ooh, honey, that's like getting thrown in the pool and hoping you can swim. Or like you go to the gym and I'm gonna do 45 miles an hour on the treadmill and I just got here. Either case, or like you think you're an athlete and you're gonna run out on the field and you've never trained a day in your life. You're gonna get pummeled. Like, that's the same. Don't do that stuff, okay? In the spiritual world, that is a big no-no. You gotta ease your way in. Now, most galactics, hybrids, that are here, angelics, you come in very activated, and you just have to remember who you are, right? So you might come in already with 22 strands, 44 strands, 48, and so on, already activated from where you come from, but you have to come here and remember. So you may go over like activations of 12 strands and that type of thing. Now, with the 144, that goes into 144,000. Again, just my perception. Take what resonates. It's perfectly okay. I'm not here to convince anybody ever of anything. I'm just sharing, my perceptions on here. 144,000 to me is the expansion of the fractals of the 144. So you'd have the 144 and then fractals that have incarnated, carrying the energy thereof. Just like avatars, we'll say, or ascended masters, they also have fractals. So that's why 20,000 people might think they're actually Christ, and they're not, but they have a fractal of. Or they might think they're this one or that one or the other one, or different gods and goddesses, small g. Like, there are fractals of all those avatars, and they're all here, okay? So that to me is what the 144,000 is. They're fractals. Now, over time, the past, 13 years, and so on, there have even been more fractals that have incarnated. So to me, it's not 144 or 144,000. They're in the millions, to me, okay? Then we move into chosen. I saw something recently that bothered me, that it was like, get over yourself, you're not all chosen, and that hurt me. Because if there's ever a time in history where you don't want to take away people's confidence or self-esteem, it would be now. Like, we want to build warriors up. We don't want to tear them down with, you're not special. You're all special. You all are. If you are seeing this and you are here and you've gotten through the waves of light and the waves of being pummeled with light and ascension symptoms and the timeline jumps and the shifts in parallel universes, and you have to be pretty damn strong, okay? That's why I always say the strongest of the strong are here, because you fuckers just keep getting up. And who else would God choose? That makes you chosen. Now, people call themselves all different types of things. My take on it is that you're all important, okay? Whether you light worker or there's a million terms. Galactics, angelics, there's all different terms. In my feeling is that most people are hybrids, okay? I don't know that I've ever met one person or had a session with one person who was one thing. Usually it's a mix of, all different kinds of things. Now, for example, you guys are very old souls. Most of you that came here are they're the zoomies, very old souls. Meaning, you had to incarnate lots of times in lots of places to develop skills, to train, to, go through stuff, to be everything, to be black, white, male, female, all over the world, all these different things, tall, short, heavy, skinny, all these different things, to gain empathy, have different injuries, to have different, things like that, maybe disabilities or whatever, so you could gain empathy for people, so you wouldn't, it knocks out judgment, okay? People have to go through a lot to gain the amount of empathy that you guys have, so that you come in caring and not judging. Now, a lot of you are judges, but it's not judges like ego judges, and no one's requiring you to be perfect here either. I get a lot of questions, just a side note, but no one's requiring perfection, especially not God, especially not Christ. They know how hard it is here. And I get questions all the time like, if I'm on meds, is that okay? If I get divorced, is that okay? If I've been that stuff is, God is not judging those things. If you feel guilty, then you ask God for forgiveness and you receive it, and you let God forget about it, you forget about it, and you move on. I'm not saying do all kinds of bad shit and do you think you can ask forgiveness all the time. That's not, no. Because I don't use the word repent, okay? But to know the true meaning of it is important. That it means I see where I screwed up and I'm not going to do that again. At least I'm going to try not to. But I don't mean like a real dark threshold. So empathy is a spectrum, okay? Just like narcissism, just like darkness. It's a spectrum, and it's all over the place. So a lot of you have all different kinds of gifts, all different kinds of pull to do different things. To me, I call that a hook, or that's like the medium, right? A medium is a go-between, between here and there. So between God and God's children, right? And that can be any number of things. Some people cook, they do actual mediumship, they paint, they sing, they work at something as simple as like a store where they encounter lots of people and God's like, I'm gonna put you there. It could be to refine some people because they're not good with people, kind of sandpaper off those rough edges and teach them to love people and to be patient, thicken up the skin a little bit, right? Teach them to communicate and negotiate and all that. But other ones, God will put them there so that they encounter tons of people throughout the day. That's the hook. That's the hook. And God will find your unique things about you and put you where you're needed. So to say that the people here who especially are watching this, my crowd is very spiritually connected. Whether you're in between cycles, between 3 and 5D, and you're like, I don't even know what direction I'm going in, I don't know my gifts yet, you're here. You've made it this far. You're here. And you can feel like this can feel like we're in the in-between, because we really are. So it's between, your old, corporate life and your spiritual life. Like now it's going to ramp up and take a whole metaphysical, angle. Because of where we are, it's going to have to. We're bringing in a whole new earth here. So it's going to require people to have, to take that spiritual turn now. It's like physics and metaphysics and, everything's elevated. So people are shifting from their old life to their new life, what they really came here to do on a much higher level. So you're all chosen, you're all important, and you are the strongest of the strong. So I love you, and I'm proud of you.